It's tough being a man in the 21st century.
We're in the middle of a war on masculinity. And this war is not just political, it's not just psychological, but it's also biological.
Yeah. Father of sons is a crisis in our country, particularly in the African American community. It is an epidemic. It is an epidemic.
The life of men, because he knows he gets 2 for 1. When he gets a man, he gets you too. That's why in the book, in the Bible, it talks about in the King James Version to destroy everyone that pisses against the wall. It means to destroy everything that stands up when it urinates. The devil is after men.
Feminization of men and male behavior by feminist political groups. On the cultural side, psychologically, we know that masculine behavior and natural masculine tendencies are also being demonized and labeled as toxic. But on the biological side, now most guys don't even know this is happening, but this is the most insidious part. We are kids. We're exposed to estrogenic chemicals that are influencing the androgen to estrogen ratio in our body. And the androgen to estrogen ratio is what causes the feminization or the masculinization of a man.
Who never had a father to help them through the maze of masculinity. And may I pause just a moment and explain to women something that you probably never hear men say, because some men are not articulate enough to say it, some are not thoughtful enough to speak it, and most are too private to admit it. But it is real hard to be a man. Now you have a whole lot of materials and information that undergirds the challenges you go through, and I'm not minimizing what you go through at all, because you go through a whole lot. But just let me tell you, just so that you will know, since you have never spent not one day as a man, let me inform you quite clearly and emphatically that it is hard to be a man. That's why most give up on it, most quit, most faint from it, most fall because of it, and almost all of us die trying to do it.
God concludes what man needs. He talks about the coming of the Messiah. He talks about John the Baptist being a forerunner to the coming of Christ. And then he says what would be the focus of the mission of Jesus. And what John would preach and emphasize. And here's what he says in Malachi. He will come and he will return the hearts of the children back, not to the mothers, but to the fathers, and the fathers back to the children. Otherwise, he says, I will curse the land. Which means whenever a society is crumbling and seems like it's under a curse, God says it's because the fathers are absent.
Oh yes, the devil is out to destroy men. If you look around this room, you will find many saged, aged, gray women. Go to your family reunions and you will see grandmama and big mama and Aunt Kivy, and they're all standing around in the kitchen talking about, girl, is that chicken done yet? I don't know, mama, let me turn it over in a minute. Get that bread out the oven before it burns. But have you ever asked yourself, where are Grandpapa and Big Papa and Uncle Willie? What happened to Cousin James? What is wrong with our generation that there are few old men left? That means we have few compasses to chart the course and to lead us through the maze of trying to get to our destination on time. We have many men who model to us how to get started, but few that live long enough to show us how to finish.
I've seen people on the grind. What on the grind really is a work ethic that would blow your mind. It would blow your mind. I'm 60 years old, and everybody who works for me is younger than me, and they'll tell you, I'll work you up under the table. I'll work you up under the table.
Where does that come from?
My father. My father, absolutely. My father is rigged. My father decided what grinding was. You weren't grinding till daddy said you were grinding.
Gotcha.
Take your hands out your pocket, boy, like you got $1 million in your pocket. They trained us not to be lazy. They talked about lazy like it was a disease. I mean, like it was
the worst thing you could be.
It was the worst thing you could be. You know, and 2 things to this day. I shouldn't say that at your church. I can say this about your son, I'm going to say it in your church, and I'm going to let you figure out all the mail you get. Two things to this day I cannot stand is a stinking woman and a lazy man.
All the male's mind today. Most of you could relate to this list. Men don't feel the power of self-confidence anymore. They don't feel the power of social roles anymore. Men don't feel the power of their masculinity anymore. That's why many of them are not sure whether they are men. Many men don't feel like they're wanted by women anymore. How many women have you met who said to you, I don't need your car, I don't need your money, I don't need your house, I don't need nothing from you, I got everything myself? And some of you married women that are making you feel like dirt because when you met her, she had babies and house already. And then she puts pressure on you by saying, why don't you be a man? Well, you don't know what to be a man. You don't know what that means anymore. Because when your father was a man, it was easy. Remember? Being a man in your father's era was very easy. To be a man meant he had to go to work, bring home the bacon, build a house, provide the groceries, and pay for the kids. That was to be a man. It was easy. A woman's job was to keep the house, cook the food, and nurse the babies. Everybody was clear. Today, that's finished. To be a man, you don't know what it is to be a man anymore. I mean, to be a man, so do I buy a house? She got a house. Do I buy a car? She got 2. Do I give her children? She came with 3 of them already. Do I buy groceries? She owns the refrigerator. Should I give her money? She bought home the pig, not just the bacon. She's making more than me. So now the guy is stuck. So what am I supposed to do to be a man now in this house? And that's your problem right now.
Soul in the shape of their dad. And if a father is unable or unwilling to fill that hole, it can leave a wound that's not easily healed.
Did that resonate?
Show us how to make it through the different ages and stages of life, because the challenges of a 20-year-old is far different from the challenges of a 50-year-old, is far different from the challenges of a 70-year-old, and you need somebody who's been there to coach you through the process and look you in the mirror and say, keep coming, boy, don't give up now. I know you lost your job, but keep on coming, keep on, you can do this, don't give up, come on, boy, come on, come on, I know your feelings is hurt, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, you're not going to be able to do what you used to do 20 years ago. You're not supposed to. You're going to have to readjust and develop a new normal. Come on, come on, come on. If you come on, you're going to get through this. Don't give up. Don't follow her. Don't follow her. She's not the answer. She's a trick. Keep coming this way. We don't. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. But
Let's start with a father's role in his son's life. What is that role?
Protector,
Protector,
provider,
provider,
and to be a model, a demonstration of what it is to be a man, and how a man needs to be, how a man shows up, not just what a man does, but also how a man provides, how he protects for the women. I mean, it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. You get to see your role played out, and that's so important for young boys.
Okay, is this resonating with you all? Yeah.